Okay, boys and girls, so to start our drawings, you can use any medium for drawing that you have. You could even use watercolor paint if that's something you feel comfortable with. I'm going to use crayon, and I'm going to start with using black. Even though it's creating black outlines, you could use another color if you want to, but I'm just going to start with black because I want to draw the shapes that I see. Now, my brain knows what shape donuts are, but because I'm trying to draw what I see in the picture, I have to draw exactly the shape I see, including maybe the top of the donut and then the outline of the bottom of the donut, because they're on an angle. So if you want to simplify this, just draw the shape that you see, okay? So I want to draw the things that are closest to me, because as they go in the background, things will overlap. And if they're overlapping, I can usually see more of the thing in front of me and less of the thing behind it. So I'm going to start very carefully with my very first donut, which is the biggest donut, and it's about right here in the page. So I'm just going to practice the circle with my hand. It's kind of an oval, actually, now that I look at it more. I'm just going to lightly draw it with my crayon, something like this. And then I might outline it and kind of modify it as I see fit if I need to. Okay, so I've got my one basic shape first. Then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to draw the second shape I see, which is the Boston cream donut, the one with the chocolate frosting. It's a little bit further back, a little bit higher up. It's kind of like here, goes like that, and it has to fit on the page, so I'm just going to do it really carefully with my crayon first. And I guess that's it. That's my shape. If I want, I can modify it after too. And then I've got my sprinkles donut, which is going to be right here, and it almost touches, or it does touch against this line here, so it overlaps just a tiny bit, and then it barely touches on this donut. But it's the smallest of them, and it's even like almost a taller oval shape. So I'm going to have it go like this. And you can see all my sketch lines, and that's okay because you're just trying to do this as a practice so you can get at drawing what you see, or get better at drawing what you see. All right, I noticed it came out a little bit right there. Sometimes having like the frosting on the top can throw off the actual shape of the donut. All right, let's see what else. So now I'm going to draw the plate, which is just below the top of this donut, and it comes out around like this, and then it goes, pretend it's passing through this donut, out and down like this, okay? Then there's an inside rim that connects these two donuts. So I'm just going to draw it very lightly here, and then a little bit lightly here, and it almost disappears when it gets really bright. There's a little bit of it showing here, about this far across the donut, so I'm going to kind of use the donut as my measurement. At this bottom corner, comes out, and it actually goes to the bottom of the picture. So something like that, okay? And then there's like maybe a faint line of it here, but you can hardly see it. There's a lot of shadowing here, so there is a shadow here where the rim starts. There's shadows underneath the donuts. There's a shadow a little bit over on this side of the donut. And you could even do that with other colors. Like a dark blue-green. I don't know what this color is. Pacific blue. We'll just take chance. So there could be a little bit of blue in this shadow, a little bit of blue in this shadow. This is pretty gray here, but I'll add a little bit of that. Go back to my chunky black crayon, just for fun. All right, so this came out a little bit. Oh, and there's almost a reflection in the plate too. All right. Next, I've got my shapes, but now I need to add some of my details. So there's texture in this one. There's red jelly. There's some yellow texture, but I'm going to try to stick with this a little bit more with my black crayon at first, just to see if I can get this in terms of the shapes. So somewhere over here, there's a line that comes in and back out again. And then right next to that is a shape like this. It sticks out where the jelly sticks out of that little hole where they fill it. So I'm just drawing as best as what I see, and this is going to be red, so I'm just going to outline it nice and boldly. And then the bottom actually comes out a little bit less here. And then there's even a line in the middle. And these lines here are going to create that 3D look. If I go like this, and I draw the top of the donut, now all of a sudden, it kind of looks more 3D, right? So I'm going to draw some of the lines on the side of the donut. There's this kind of X pattern here. There's some lines across it, maybe from the racks that it was sitting on. And that's just pretty simple. So that's all I really feel like I need to do for this one. This one has frosting on it. So I need to actually go from the back, follow my eye along the line of the frosting. And just try to see if I can get it as close. It maybe isn't going to be perfect, but just as close as I can see it. Maybe it's going to go back up now. There's like a little gap in it over here where it came down, like this little triangle I see. And there's some little white shapes too, like where this came up. So I'm just going to kind of outline the white reflection. There's another kind of like reflection over here and one over here. So that's all I need to do there. And then on the front part, there's like a little area, I don't know if you guys noticed it, where the custard filling is starting to come out. And that means the bottom of the donut actually has to be under that. So I'm going to move it down a little bit. Then there's a line that comes in, like an indent. And just some little textural stuff on the side, which means kind of like bumpiness and stuff like that. Okay, now on this one, most of the surface of this is frosting. You can't see too much from the sides. I'm just going to follow it again, looking at the picture really closely and just following any little details that you might see. It's going to go straight down here. This is the outside of the donut. Keep this here. And then it comes across here, down, up, a little bit up on the side, and that's mainly it. Let's see. You can't really see where the top is too much based on the angle. I do know it's like a little bit more shadowy down here. I think it's just going to be the direction of the confetti on the top that's going to help it look 3D. So with that, maybe I'll do some color. So meaning the top, if you look at the shapes closely, the ovals are going to be more arranged to the side. Okay, as they come down, they're going to be more straight. And then the ones that are facing us, they're going to be a little bit more circular. Okay. So it has to do with the angle as they go around. So they're going to be changing from wide to totally circular. So like almost like sideways ovals that will make them look more on an angle. Okay. Okay, so now all I'm going to do is I'm going to try to match the colors and what I see with my crayons. It's always a good idea to test your crayons out to make sure you can get the right colors. It's okay if you use more than one color to color in an object. Like you can see I have like a yellowy section and a more brown section on the donut part that's not the frosting, because that's what it looks like in the picture, right? You see those yellow spots. So I did those first, then I went back. So you want to try to just keep following what I was showing you to begin with. Draw the lines you see, use different parts of your drawing for references, kind of eyeball it or estimate, how far over something might be. If it's on a curve, if it's straight, if it's overlapping something else. What the colors are, you'll do after you finish your drawings. I finished this drawing part with pencil, and then I went back and I colored it in. And it wasn't perfect, because I haven't really practiced this in a really long time, and that's fine. And that way you guys can also see what it looks like when someone's making mistakes when they're doing it, and how they can kind of work through it and fix it, or erase something and redo it. Obviously, I wasn't trying too hard here to get the D's to be perfect. They didn't come out, identical or anything. And I was just trying to copy as much as I could, except I accidentally colored over the D's that was leaving white, so I just made them red, and that looks fine too. So what you want to be doing is really looking for details. If you want to add details and you make it look realistic, just look for details and try to add those things as best you can. If you're not trying to make it look realistic and you're just trying to practice, then you don't really have to worry about it. So here, I just came back to the picture as I was editing the video because I realized there's like a shadow under the box that I didn't put in, and it just doesn't look right without it. So I decided to go ahead and add it in using black crayon and then blending it a little bit with the gray crayon. And I just wanted you to see that so that you could see the finished piece. And that's it. I think it looks fine. There are little things that I wish I could fix, but for practice, I think it turned out pretty good.